Taking you out live right now. This is the Watauga County Sheriff talking about how the two deputies who were killed. Let's take a listen in on the latest.
For instance, I did not do the procession last night, neither myself or the chief deputy, because I think that's something that they needed to do. So, but yeah.
And where were you when you got this news?
Here, we heard on the radio, we heard the dispatch go out for this welfare check on the parents, the mother and the stepfather. And so, they went out. Next thing we know, they're saying an officer down. And everybody went. Boone, Blowing Rock, Highway Patrol, everybody.
Just what goes through your mind right now? I know it's been a tough time for your officers, but you, as the sheriff, as the leader of this department?
I really don't consider myself a leader. I consider myself to be a brother to them. We're co-workers, but I understand what you're saying. And like I was saying earlier, being a sheriff or a fire chief or a military officer or whatever, we're asking our folks that we know to go in harm's way, and the officers get that too. They knew what the possibilities, I think.
Yeah. Can you talk about the officers for us? Describe them. How were they?
The officers that...
The deputies that were killed.
Logan Fox was young, younger, and I apologize. I do not know their ages or their...
You don't know specifics, but I heard you earlier just talking about how they love their job.
Oh, yeah. They do.
They showed up just ready to work, ready to serve.
Mm-hmm. And that's what they did. I don't know if you caught that one part, but I'm convinced that the attitude of the suspect was such that he was planning this, not particularly the officers, but possibly the public in general. And, the officers, as I said, they thought they were going into one situation, and the perpetrator was there, or the suspect was there.
And we know the community has been showing up here all day, all afternoon, leaving their tokens of love. What do you say to the community members?
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They're very understanding. We know that. The citizens are, I can't say enough about, here we got a truck that's officers that are coming and going, not just our agency, but others that are willing to, share a word of prayer with them, or, some kind of support. Last night, or yesterday afternoon when I was here, the sheriffs of Avery, Ashe, Johnson County, Tennessee, and Caldwell were here, and they basically told me, take it easy, go get something to eat.
Yeah.
So they were, and it was on autopilot then.
Yeah, I know you've been nonstop all day. You said you were getting text messages as soon as this happened.
Yeah.
Who were some of those messages coming from?
A lot with the Sheriff's Association, just sheriffs across the state, police departments, private citizens. We've had, one lady that I've known for a long time. She has a restaurant several miles away from here, and she said, "What do you need?" And that's been the word from the get-go. People are willing to step up and help us. It's hard.
Yeah.
Sheriff, can you do you know if these two were married, if they have kids, or what can you tell us?
Yes, Sergeant Ward was married and had kids. Logan, he had a fiance.
This and that really affects those.
Absolutely.
It hits hard.
Absolutely. What do you say to children? What do you say to siblings or grandfathers, grandmothers? And I've actually reached out to the suspect's family.
What did they have to say, Sheriff?
Mostly just information and reassurance that, and just to say, quite honestly, that they were sorry for what happened.
Now, but you had said earlier that you had had some encounters. You had calls about him Sunday. What were those calls about? That he was irritated, or?
No, just to kind of be on the lookout. There was familial concern that he might, try to do something. And he had evidently a fairly large cache of weapons, and he was at the house, which we didn't think he would be, but.
Okay. And you're at this point, the family, no arrangements or anything along those lines.
No.
What about procession coming back?
Well, we were talking about that earlier. Last night they had a procession
to Winston.
to Winston, and depending on when the medical examiner gets through, hopefully we want to bring them back together again.
Tonight?
It could be tonight, could be tomorrow. We just don't know. That's up to the ME's office.
Yeah, they've got to do both autopsies first. Do you have any photos, service photos of them in their uniform?
No, the ones that we've seen, that she was just showing, they're off the web or somewhere.
But I didn't know, because we needed to get permission to use photos.
Yeah,
I
we
thought
we
maybe
don't
you
have
had,
any.
like your official sheriff's photos.
No,
You don't have those.
Steve, we're working with the family to get
Okay.
photographs from the family to release with the release at 4 o'clock.
There's some of them in uniform.
At 4 o'clock?
Yes.
I think that's what they want to do.
You're going to have a release at 4?
There's going to be a release at 4
with that
o'clock.
stuff?
Then we intend to, it'll have kind of a completion of the sheriff's office end of what's being
Okay.
released. We're going to transition it over to the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigations.
Okay. Well, they're handling it now.
They're handling
And,
it as far as the media.
Sheriff, for our
doing it.
public
Yes.
who is
Okay.
watching live right now, is there any other words you want to say to them? I know a lot of people are just watching this and
just that-
heartbroken, and we've had several of these incidents within the past 3 weeks or so. Anything you want to say?
No, just keep thinking of us and supporting us, and help us get through this. I mean, we will. I'm confident that we will get through this. It's just a pretty rocky road right now.